You're listening to Table 12 Podcast. Danny Barr, Paul Marino, Rob Klein on the board. Bill Mutz joining us. Hey, Bill. I know you're not on the microphone, but hey, Bill.
What's up, fellas?
Bill says hi.
Doing some shredding there at the beginning. I like that. Now that I know, Bill, that you wrote that, I will make sure everybody knows that.
Anyway, it was a big week.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bore you. Apparently, we were boring Rob in the first segment.
Well, I guess we're
not bringing the laughs, Paul.
We're not bringing the laughs. Not landing. We're not landing.
No.
All right. Well, we'll try here. But this is mostly sports here. In case you want to get involved in it, Dan, you're more than welcome.
Listen, I wrote on my note, and I can show it to you.
I believe you. Yeah.
Sports, Paul, and go.
Okay. So anyway,
there's my contribution.
Our top story today.
The top story
was that
Generalissimo Francisco Franco is valiantly holding on to his fight to remain dead.
Dexter Lawrence got traded from the Giants.
Oh, my God.
They were in an impasse with him, and he kind of played hardball, and he wanted to leave. He didn't want to negotiate anymore. And the Giants traded him to the Cincinnati Bengals for their first pick in the draft, which is the 10th overall. So now the Giants have the 5th and the 10th pick. And you know, you're starting out with a new coaching staff. Everybody new in the building, the whole staff, even everybody but the general manager is still is brand new. General manager's hanging on by a thread. His contract is up this year. And he's been kind of relegated to basically scouting, getting ready for the draft. I don't know what's going to happen with him, but I know that John Harbaugh is running this team, okay? Because he doesn't want to start this year with having a player holding out who's disgruntled and saying he's not going to come to camp, and they're trying to negotiate. The Dallas Cowboys do it every year. There's somebody that tries to get more money out of him. Micah Parsons was the guy last year that they had to trade, and they actually did well on the trade, and Micah Parsons wound up getting hurt. But Dexter Lawrence was a good player for the Giants, okay? He played 7 seasons. The problem is number one, he just got a 4-year deal 2 years ago, okay? Most of the money...
he's halfway through it then. He didn't just get it.
Well, no, but he still got 2 years left on his contract. But he sees that other people, which happens every year, whatever deal you sign today, in a year from now, there's going to be somebody getting a higher deal. It's just the way it works.
And then the worst move in sports history was the first team that allowed renegotiation.
I agree with you on that, because you sign a contract, but you see the difference between the NFL and, say, like baseball. Baseball, all the money's guaranteed. All right? So now what happens with football is, like, if they front load the money, the first 2 years, which what they did. The guaranteed money was the $50 million he got already. So the 3rd and 4th year you play, you're going to get paid. But if there's a problem, like we ran into here, okay, we still had the contract on him, so he had to play for the Giants. We own the rights. But this is when they get their leverage where they want to be traded, because if you're a really good player, you might get somebody that's going to get interested in you. And if they trade for you, they're automatically going to give you an extension. They're not going to they know if they're trading for you, they're giving up something for you for the player, but they're also going to have to renegotiate, because that's why he had a dispute in the first place. So that's what's kind of happened here. So he wound up getting a 1-year extension for $28 million guaranteed. So what does that mean? Well, really, technically, they have 1 year, and then he could play that game again, because it's an extension. But I think they front loaded it as guaranteed money. So he still really only has 2 years. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, but I saw a clip of him coming out of. He went to visit Cincinnati, and he comes out and he's looking at the stadium. He goes, I got chills. I got chills. Wait a minute.
They're multiplying.
You went to Cincinnati. There's no chills when you go in. Well, you're going to be cold in December, but you didn't go to a team that's a perennial winner. I mean, they're trying to build a winning team. They have a good offense. They have Joe Burrow, good player. But you know, he got chills because he got the money he wants. He got another guaranteed deal. Okay, the Giants don't need that kind of. Last year he had half a sack. Now he's an interior lineman, so he's not an edge rusher, so he's not going to get 20 sacks. I think that the year that his best was 10. Okay, but for a nose tackle who gets double teamed, it's a good number. But he's really happy because he got more money.
Sure.
It doesn't matter where he's playing for the Bengals or he could be playing for any. It doesn't matter where he's going to go. But good for him. But you
Good
see,
for him.
now here's the thing. See, if he came off of like this year, he came in overweight and out of shape.
Oh God.
He also came in.
I do that every day.
He came in off of the year before having a significant injury where he missed half the season. So he comes in off the injury. He comes in a little. They wanted him. If you see pictures of him, you could tell he was overweight, and it probably affected him a little bit. However, if he would have had a good year where we would have had the same kind of duplicated year that he had earlier, 10 sacks, they might have done whatever he wanted. But you see, they're up against a salary cap, which they were kind of tight on. And also, he didn't have a good season. So he would have had a little bit more leverage than he actually would, asking for what he wanted. But anyway, I think it works out for them. Maybe it works out for both teams. Maybe he'll come motivated this year. Maybe he's 1 year removed from the injury. He might come in better shape because he's ready now. And they needed the player. But we got a draft pick, and the Giants have to use that draft pick, and I think you have to try to get a player to replace him. Like you have to go get a nose tackle with one of those picks because you just lost a significant player.
Yeah, and you lost an experienced player and replacing him with a rookie.
True. But I think they're gonna
But that frees up cap room, is what you're saying.
$25 million. So now there's a couple of free agents that are still out there that they couldn't go out and get.
Now, did Cincinnati have to pay that?
Pay what?
The $25 million or whatever he was getting this year?
Well, they gave him more money. They gave him an extension to 28. But he wants to play 3 years there. He could play for the 3 years. But if he has a bad year after they give.
But do the Giants have to pay any of the money?
No.
That's it. They're out of his contract.
They're out of his contract.
Okay.
So now they have that money is freed up where there's a couple of guys already looking at that they can bring in, after the draft is over and see what they did with the draft. There's a couple of guys that I think they already reached out to. So if you keep if you after June 1st, there's a provision where the money comes off where it's not as much money on the cap and you can move somebody like a free agent that you want to get. There's a way that they're able to manipulate the cap. So we'll see what happens. But the bottom line here is somebody doesn't want to be here. You don't want them in the locker room in the coach's first year. That's the way I feel about it. So the draft is Thursday night. I'd like to see them get 2 defensive players, and I don't want to see a wide receiver. They have.
Is that what you told them?
I didn't tell them yet. No one's reached out to me yet for an opinion. But
don't sit back and wait. Make the call.
Should I get in there?
Yeah, you got. Come on.
I got to get in there.
Show some initiative.
But they signed a couple of receivers, and now today, the report Odell Beckham was getting the physical there. They want to put him back in the building,
great.
Which I don't like.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I mean, you don't like that?
Well, you know what I like about him? He's humble.
He's humble. Team player.
He stays out of the paper.
Team player.
Team player. Even when he's off, he works hard. He never takes a day off.
No, he's Yeah, he's he's interesting. He might have had he played for Harbaugh before. When he was a young kid, he was a little bit more of a hot dog. I mean, I used to like his hair. It looked like he had mustard on his head because he had the gold
Right, yeah.
hair.
The bleach. It's actually bleach.
Is it bleach?
Bleach. It's what I do.
Why would you do that?
Except it burns the skin.
Yeah. So, I mean, Thursday night's a big night. Big night. I don't know if you'll be glued to your seat because the Jets have the 2nd overall pick.
Is that the draft Thursday night?
Yeah. Now, the good thing for you, I mean, it's the 2nd and 16. You could still probably get to bed by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and then finally I'll know whose name to remember.
So you're gonna have a watch party or anything at the house, like to watch the draft?
I don't wear a watch.
No. God. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that Thursday night. Anyway, baseball
has been very, very good to me.
Very interesting this week. The Mets are on an all-time losing streak, 11 straight games.
11 straight.
They were 7-4. Then they lost 11. Now they're 7-15.
And Charles Barkley would tell you, don't say they suck. They're all great athletes.
They're all good.
They're stars.
Yeah.
Me, I'm a
freak.
superstar.
I'm a freak. They used to say.
I'm a superstar, but they're all stars.
But they took a lot of players from the Yankees, and all of them are imploding. Yesterday, our last year's closer blew the game yesterday. They were winning 1-0, and all the ex-players that they got rid of are playing great. In fact, in this losing streak, they played the Oakland A's. Jeff McNeil had 2 winning hits. They got rid of him.
And Yankee pitching's gotten better.
They're better. So the Yankees, the Mets went on a road trip. They lost every game. Now they're coming back for Tuesday at a 7:15.
They played
record.
like they couldn't find the stadiums.
So I mean, they're in a free fall, and it could get pretty worse. Now, just to break it down a little bit for yourself and some of the listeners, like they want right away, they're going to fire the manager. They want to fire him. He's got nothing to do with it. He didn't do anything.
Didn't they just get him?
Well, he's been there. They got hit from the Yankees also, Mendoza. But it's the general manager who made all these moves. Now, the kick in the pants, if you will, is that they got the second highest payroll in baseball behind the Dodgers.
Behind the Dodgers, yeah.
And they're terrible. Because all these players that they plugged in that they got rid of.
Just goes to show you, payroll doesn't always mean
Doesn't mean you're going to be good.
You got the Dodgers, the best team in baseball, with the highest payroll. The Mets, worst team in baseball, second to the worst behind Kansas City, with the second highest payroll.
Yeah. So, hey, look, there's 150 games left. It's not that it's.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
All right, I'm on it.
There's a lot of games left. I mean, the season ain't over, but let's just say,
It's not over.
If you're 7, it's not over.
I thought it was over at the end of the month.
7-20, you're not digging out too easy. You know what I mean? You got to try to start winning a couple games here. But it's a tough hole to dig out of. I can't think, And Soto's coming back, but he's not motivated anymore. He got his money. I just don't think he really cares about being there. But hey, direct deposit still works. He was out for a couple of weeks. He didn't have to worry about his money coming into the account.
He's making like $30 million.
$51 million a year.
Yeah, but just being out.
Yeah,
he's being out. He's made like $10 million sitting at home.
He's not using up sick time. He's afraid he's going to run out of sick days like we used to have.
Right, yeah, personal days.
But you brought up Kansas City. The Yankees swept Kansas City this weekend.
Yeah,
they
did.
They went 5-2 on the road on the homestand. Now they're going to be going to Boston tomorrow. I mean, they're starting to hit better than they have been.
Rice is having a good.
Rice should never come out of the lineup. He's batting .357. Yeah. He should never come out. He's sitting down. Runs. He's tired. Come on, Boone. Just play him every day. Sometimes you got to. I understand you got to get Goldschmidt in there once a week. Against a left-handed pitcher. But Ben Rice can pitch. Ben Rice can hit lefties or righties. He can hit.
He's having a great April.
And Budge is starting to heat up now. Judge is starting to play better.
What'd you call him, Budge? Did you just
Judge.
call him Budge?
I said Judge.
You just called him Budge.
I said Judge.
All right, we'll have to play. Rob, play that back.
Speech is a little. Sometimes when you're from Hudson
County,
you get caught up.
Yeah. I understand. You get excited over this.
You know what I mean? But Judge is starting to do better. I think he's got 9 homers.
Yeah, he's behind. He's 1 home run behind the league leader.
His average is starting to come up. But listen, Garrett Cole just started a rehab stint down in Somerset, not too far from here.
Drinking?
Huh?
He's been drinking?
No, he's playing base. He's pitching.
Oh.
He pitched 41 pitches the other day. Pitched pretty well. So they got to build him up. I think he'll be back by May 15th. That's my prediction. And Rodon is getting close. But
Rodon,
yeah.
From the Godzilla movies?
No, you know what I'm talking about. You know his name. You know the guy I'm talking about.
All right. You said Rodon. Takes me back to Godzilla.
Was it Rodon? Maybe I said it wrong.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? The pitcher?
No, I don't have a clue.
He's a pitcher.
I'm just letting you go, man. You're on a roll.
So if they get, I think, the pitchers that they have now are filled in pretty well. Fried his last 2 outings weren't that good, but they got Will Warren and they got Cam Schlittler. And yesterday, David Weathers' son Ryan plays for the Yankees now. He's left-handed. He pitched. He had 3 good games in a row.
Whose son?
David Weathers, who was on the '96 team, I think. His son, they traded for him. So their pitching staff is holding its own right now. I mean, I think they're 13-9. And they're going to have a tough road trip. They're going to Boston, and they're going to Houston, and the Texas Rangers, who are, I think they're in first place or second place out in the West. Tough 9-game road trip, but we'll see how they do. I mean, some of the guys are still batting. I mean, David, what's his name? Wells. He's not hitting well. He's hitting like 140. You know, he's not hitting well. So we'll see what happens, Dan. It's early.
All right. David Wells? I didn't know he came back.
Not David Wells. What's his name? I forgot his first name.
Boomer.
No. That's David Wells.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot Wells' first name. So
got in trouble for wearing Babe Ruth's hat in the game.
Said it was illegal to do that, right?
Yeah.
$30,000.
Uniform violation.
Yeah.
to wear Babe Ruth's Yankee hat in a game.
Well, we had a Knick playoff game yesterday.
You did?
I think actually it was Saturday. We're having a game tonight.
Won. Won by 11.
Yeah, 113-102.
That'd be 11 points.
Yeah. Don't like the fact that it was on Prime, but we were out to dinner. I was eating steak and lobster. I didn't worry about it.
You were at Morton's.
Yes. So it was a good.
$600.
I was keeping track on my phone though of the score
at the dinner table.
Yeah.
In a high-end restaurant, that is Bush League.
Well,
man.
I didn't have it.
Come on.
Well, so was my buddy Rich. You know,
what
Rich.
are you doing? What are you doing? A cell phone commercial? For God's sakes!
Everybody was
You're
on their
supposed
phone.
to be there enjoying. That's the problem with today.
Checking with. I'm not on it scrolling. I'm checking on the damn thing.
The youth of today, you go to any restaurant and they're all on their
I'm
phones.
68.
Yeah, you're setting a bad example.
I wasn't on it. I would check every
$600 for a meal, and you're looking at your cell phones.
I checked it out. That's all to see what the score was. That's all. In fact, my friend Rich, he's the one who got a text. And he says, "Hey, they traded Dexter Lawrence."
For $600, they had a wheel and a big screen for you.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. But my point before you got me sidetracked was the streaming is getting big with all of these big sports.
Yeah, they're
now,
signing big contracts with them.
And first game of the playoffs, and it's on streaming. People were ticked off, but. So they got game 2 is tonight. We'll see how they do. It's at the Garden. The first 2 games were at the Garden. Then they got to go on the road. But they should be able to handle Atlanta. The number 1 seed Pistons lost to Orlando yesterday. All the series, the team that was favored won, except for 2. The Houston Rockets lost to the Lakers, and the Detroit Pistons lost at home to Orlando. Orlando's got a feisty team. They're pretty athletic and they can play. But it's only the first game, But as they say, now you snatched home court advantage.
Who
back.
says that?
Everybody.
Because I've never said that.
Everybody says any announcer.
Who is they?
I just told you. Any announcer, they'll use it. Well, they've stolen home court because now they have the home court.
Is this a 5-game series?
7.
It's a 7. So no, they didn't.
What do you mean?
There's 6 games left.
Yeah, but they got the home court advantage now. Okay.
Well,
I'm trying to educate you here on some of the terminology, and you're not are you not getting it, or is it?
No, I just don't care.
Okay. So,
well, listen. You want me to lie to you?
So, what do you think?
Make you feel better?
Who do you think is a favorite in the playoffs? If you had to put a name to it,
the Celtics.
I tend to agree with you on in the East. What about the West? Do you have any?
I haven't really looked at the West.
Well, you got, to me, the 2 front runners over there.
Oklahoma?
Oklahoma's the defending champs.
Yeah.
And then also you got
the Thunder.
You got the 7'5" Wembanyama on the San Antonio Spurs. 7'5". He's phenomenal. I think that's going to be the 2 teams there.
Did you see this kid that he's 7'10" or something? He plays in college. He was playing for Florida, I think. They had a picture of him standing. You know how they line up for foul shots?
Yeah.
He's standing next to the other team's center, who was 6'10". Is 6'10". And this kid's a foot taller.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
It's a crazy photograph. And you're saying this guy's 7'5".
He's 7'5". Yeah.
That's 3 inches taller than Shaq.
Yeah.
And
he can shoot threes like nothing. He's not like a big guy on the inside, like from if you remember Manute Bol and those type of, you can pass the ball inside. He's going to dunk it. So this guy could shoot from the outside. He could shoot from anywhere. He can go down low. I mean, when you're 7'5", you don't have to jump that high with your arm reach to hit the basket to dunk the ball. For God's sakes,
No,
they don't have far to go.
I don't even know how they travel.
I mean, you just can't go to get in any vehicle when you're on
No.
the street. You call for a car. What are you going to call for?
You better make money.
But you got to. Well, he's making money, but
but you better. Like you can't be 7'5" and a union pipe fitter, and you can't go anywhere.
No, I mean he's got to. If he gets an Uber, which he probably just gets a limo, I guess. But you can't get a regular limo car. You got to get one of them high, BMW.
Well, you get a
SUVs,
stretch,
right?
Yeah, you get a stretch. You can do it.
Yeah,
you
but
can do a
you're not going to get in a car though, unless you could have your head through the moonroof. No,
Well, I think I'm going to guess he's mostly legs.
I guess you're right.
But what's funny though is the small cars are deceiving. My buddy Rob had a Prius. He's 6'3", 6'4", but the Prius fit him the best. Now, no one could sit behind him because he was all the way back. They had the most legroom.
The problem is, as you get older, now it's tough to get in those cars. Like that's
Tough getting out.
Right.
Getting in.
You can fall in.
You can fall right in.
But you can't get up.
But it's getting tough.
So I don't know. I think
7'5" is big.
I think the Knicks will get to the second round to play the Celtics. I just don't think they're going to beat the Celtics.
That's going to be a fun series. I'd actually watch that series.
It'll be good. But we knocked them out last year, so they got a little bit of a revenge factor there, and the
Celtics will have home court advantage.
They will have home court. This is the only.
So the Knicks would have to win the first game, in order to rob home court.
In order to
advantage
steal home court.
There you go.
You learned something in the segment here. See,
I use the word rob instead of steal because it just sounds a little less offensive.
What, are you going woke on me now?
Yeah, listen, just trying to meet in the middle.
Anyway, there was some golf going on, right, Dan?
Well, there was two things.
Go ahead.
There was two things. The first one we won't spend a lot of time on, but I just want to give a shout out to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar retired this weekend. That guy.
I didn't know you were going to do WrestleMania. This is awesome.
I thought about it on my way here.
Love it.
I watched a little bit of it. I couldn't have it on when Jace was in the room because
now
it's a bad influence.
Which service do you have that you can get?
ESPN.
But it's on the
on YouTube TV.
Right. So you have you have the whole package for ESPN.
I have ESPN 3 times.
Right.
I have ESPN with YouTube TV. I have ESPN with another streaming, and then I have ESPN all by itself. I like the ESPN network. But Brock Lesnar retired. Put his shoes in the middle of the ring.
I saw a clip on
like a good wrestler should.
Yeah. That's a tradition of
wrestling.
You're done, yeah.
Not pro wrestling. It's Greco-Roman, or what they call now folk style is what they changed the name of it. But when you've wrestled your last match, you leave your shoes in the middle of the mat, and that's what Lesnar did. So he's an NCAA D1 heavyweight champion, 285 heavyweight champion. He went to junior college first before going to Minnesota. He went to junior college. Won the junior college national championship at heavyweight, right? The only thing he didn't win was high school heavyweight. He's won everything else. He's won the UFC.
He went to UFC, right?
He never went to the Olympics, which surprises me, but he never went to, because I think he got into the WWE almost immediately out of college. So he started making money. So he probably didn't want to take the time off to do the Olympics. But then he did UFC, won a heavyweight champion, won that twice. The second time was the, what do they call it when all 3 belts? Undisputed.
Mm-hmm.
He became the undisputed, and then went back to the WWE again and won that heavyweight championship again.
And he's the one who ended The Undertaker's undefeated WrestleMania streak.
A couple of WrestleManias ago.
20.
Yeah.
I think it was 20 straight.
The guy, his nickname is The Beast, and there's not a better nickname.
No.
Because he is a beast.
It fits him perfect. And, I'm glad you brought it up, because I watch, it's on Raw. I watch Raw the day after it's on Monday night, and SmackDown I watch. So Becky Lynch won a belt. She beat AJ Lee. Roman Reigns beat CM Punk.
CM Punk, yeah.
Rhea Ripley beat Jade Cargill.
And Orton lost.
Orton lost to Rhodes.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes.
And that's kind of a neat match because Cody Rhodes is a third generation wrestler,
Yep.
son of Dusty Rhodes,
Yep.
the American Dream.
Yes, sir.
And Randy Orton is a third
Cowboy Bob Orton,
Cowboy Bob
who
Orton.
who was in the first WrestleMania. When the first
Yeah.
first WrestleMania was Hulk Hogan,
Mr. T,
Mr. T, and Jimmy Snuka, and it was Roddy
and
Piper,
yeah,
Bob Orton, and Mr. Wonderful, I think it was.
Paul Orndorff.
Yeah.
See that that was towards the end of my fandom of wrestling. Was those days. As a kid, I was all
I was
in.
watching. I
All in.
I was there when Hulk Hogan won the belt in 1984. I used to go every first Monday of the month was wrestling at the Garden. Me and my friend Rusty went every
That was back
once
when
a month.
Gorilla was the announcer.
Yeah, and I was in the building a couple times when it was really loud. Once was the Rangers Stanley Cup, and the second loudest I ever heard in that building, because I didn't go to Knick playoff games because they were too much money, was Hulk Hogan beating the Iron Sheik. That was unbelievable, and that's what really boosted wrestling. I think.
Oh yeah,
It was a territorial sport or entertainment, you want to say, and then it became. I mean, Vince McMahon made it global. He took over every company in the United States, and now it's global. Now they go to everywhere. They go to Dubai, they go to Germany, they go to England.
That was back in the days when the Iron Sheik and Hacksaw Jim Duggan got pulled over on the Garden State Parkway with an 8-ball of blow in the car, and that basically blew it for wrestling. Like, you mean they're friends?
Yeah,
right. Like, and that's when Vince. They had them. I think steroids is what made them have to change it to entertainment. I mean, they got sued by World Wildlife Foundation, and that's why they had to get rid of WWF.
Yeah, it was World
because they
Wrestling
had
Federation.
it first. The Wildlife Foundation had it first. But then Vince had to finally make a decision on whether it was a sport or entertainment. And because of the steroids and the coke and everything else they were doing, and the fact that it was scripted and they were all really friends.
If you hear stories Ric Flair used to tell about him and Andre the Giant out, okay, and he'd drink a case of beer and a night, and then other stuff with it. I went to WrestleMania 5 in Atlantic City, and the hotel bar. Andre the Giant was drinking wine, and he's look a bottle of wine. He drank 19 bottles of wine. The bartender
he could drink a case of wine,
and the wine bottle in his hand looked like me holding a 16-ounce cup.
He could hide a beer can in his hand.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
And I saw the Ultimate Warrior in this.
And there were times where he'd actually get too drunk to move, and they couldn't move.
Well, they had trouble. I think they tried to carry. He fell on somebody. They tried to carry him up, and he actually fell on somebody that was trying to help one of the wrestlers. They had to call more people in to get him off.
He was 600 pounds.
Yeah.
I've
been watching wrestling since 1964. I mean, Bruno Sammartino and Gorilla Monsoon. Gorilla Monsoon's he was from Manchuria. He said
right.
He's Italian. He's from Brooklyn.
Actually, I thought he was from New Jersey.
The same thing with.
But you know what's funny about Monsoon?
What?
Because I don't remember him in the ring. I remember him as a commentator. And I think they when they do the interviews, they used to put wrestlers on boxes to make them look taller. Monsoon was like 6'5".
Yeah.
I mean, but he never looked it because he always had a suit on. And they always had the other guys elevated or him in a hole or something. But he was a huge guy.
Yeah.
He fought Ali, right? Didn't he fight Ali?
No. Antonio Inoki.
Well, I know Inoki did.
I don't think he might have. I don't know if he got in the ring. I don't know. Maybe
some gimmick match.
He might have.
Because that's what Stallone based
Hulk Hogan
coming in his Thunder Lips against Balboa. I thought that was based on Monsoon.
It might have been.
Monsoon and Ali, but
could have been.
But yeah, I figured I'd just mention it to
That's
you. I
awesome.
know you're a wrestling fan and all that, but I was disappointed that McIntyre lost because he's a fellow Scotsman and he's from the Ayrshire, which is where my ancestry's from. Not that I'm comparing myself to him. He's 6.5 feet tall.
I think they give him a bad deal a lot.
He's struggled in his career trying to keep a name for himself.
But the guy's huge and he's fit.
Massive.
And he kind of gets screwed out of holding the title a lot.
Yeah.
You know? But, you know.
And he got beat Saturday night, you know. But
and one of the Liv Morgan.
I didn't watch any of the women.
Liv
matches.
Morgan won too. She was. Her family lived next. They weren't great people, but her family lived right next to me. And her father died before she was born. I remember the night that the EMS came for him.
Oh, is that right?
And then they moved. And now she's a star. And I saw her on one of the shows. Her mother lived next door. And
was it in Woodridge?
What do you mean?
Or North Bergen? Where they live next to you?
Hamburg Village.
Hamburg Village?
Yeah, in Hamburg.
Oh, they lived here?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and she was born after they moved, and she never knew her father. But she's a good story. She made a lot of money, took care of her family and stuff. So,
lastly, golf. Usually, the week after the Masters used to be traditionally a quiet week. Not a lot of top players would play in the Heritage, but the money has gotten so good that all the top players showed up for this tournament, and it's an hour from Augusta. Not even an hour, probably 45 minutes from Augusta. But what a great tournament. And, of course, Scotty Scheffler did it again. You know, he didn't win. It took him to a playoff. But Fitzpatrick, the English kid, and once again, I brought this up before, stop with the USA chants in a regular golf match. It's an international sport. It's not the Ryder Cup every damn week. You know, Fitzpatrick's a great kid. He's a great golfer. And the story behind him was his family would vacation in Harbour Town when he was growing up from England. They would go, that's where they would go for vacation. And now he's won his second Heritage at Harbour Town, which is outside Charleston. But he bogeyed the 18th to Scheffler was a stroke behind him. Fitzpatrick messed up, bogeyed the 18th, so went to the playoff. Scheffler hits a second shot. The wind catches the ball, holds it short of the green. He ended up having to chip up, and Fitzpatrick hit a beautiful second shot into the green and won the tournament. He deserved to win it. But Scheffler's just in there the guy's amazing to me.
yeah, he's always in the match.
Always. His worst match in, I don't know how far back they went, was the tournament players. Is the only match in like 2 years that he wasn't in the top 20. And he's won 8, 9 times. But
He's still number one in the world.
he's
right?
number one in the world
Yeah.
he's got a pretty wide margin on that. Rory's number 2. But
He took the week off, I think, right?
he's taken a couple of weeks off. But so next week is the Zurich, which is a fun tournament. It's at the TPC Louisiana, which I've played. That was great. They play in pairs. You have a teammate, and they play a team score going in. And Rory's not playing, so Shane Lowry had to find a different partner. But Fitzpatrick's playing with his brother. So it's kind of a neat tournament to watch.
Oh. And you'll be watching.
I'll be watching.
So I guess we'll just keep an eye on the playoffs, and we'll talk about it again next week.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one. See ya.